that Michael did a very good job of going over what Fahim has gone through, what it was like being raised in Afghanistan and the trials and tribulations that he overcame to get here to the United States. I know I'm digressing from here because Michael's gone through a lot of this, but in reading the book, one of the things that most impressed me about Fahim Speaks has to do with his story and how it differentiates itself from the other war novels that you typically read about the areas. And how it differentiates yourself, you automatically think of Kite Runner. And it's not a kite runner. It's much, much, much more than that. And he's a much greater man than that. And I have to look retrospectively at my own family. And when you talk about, I have family members that have been in every war since the Revolutionary War, including my son, who was injured over in Iraq. But when they talk about their time in war and what they did in war, they typically don't talk about the bullets and the mutilations or the deaths or anything like that. You have stories to talk about families and cultures and climates and all manner of things other than the war going on around you. One of my son's favorite stories, well, two of them actually, one was when he chauffeured Hillary Clinton around. And he actually has some film of that because he was the pretty boy that they put in a Jeep next to the dignitaries that would come to the base. And it's hilarious to listen to him talk about it, or to listen to him talk about being on guard duty out by the fence, and the local family that he'd gotten very friendly with would bring him lunch and pass it through the grates because he didn't have any food. They didn't let him off duty or anything, so you're just standing out there. You didn't even have water with you out there. So the family would come and do that. You don't hear about that kind of thing unless you read a story like Fahim Speaks. And then you hear about that kind of thing. Then you hear about the people and the culture and the trials and tribulation that those people are going through. Not just the war machines and not just those dictators and those nasty people that are trying to destroy countries. That's what really impressed me about this book, and that's what really impressed me about Fahim. I think I've said enough, and I'd like to have Fahim now come up and tell us a little more.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for supporting this country. Thank you for supporting this military. First of all, I want to thank God and my beautiful mom passed away 4 months ago. The book dedicated to her. I'm going to read chapter 1 a little bit, not too much because you guys are not going to buy the book. If I tell you the whole thing, this is, so why should I buy the book? Okay, chapter 1, 1978, Russian invade Afghanistan. My mom was working for the president of Afghanistan as a midwife. She was struggling to, before the Russian arrive, she has to escape Afghanistan before she get killed. She has to leave with all of us. But my dad was been a little stubborn, says, no, I want to keep Fahim, my brother, Aris. And we couldn't say anything at that time, we were 12 or 13. And my mom has to leave with 2 sisters and a brother. We couldn't hear any letter or any post, anything from her for 4 years. By the time I was fighting the communists, which is my duty, fight communists. Communists, we don't have a freedom. Like this beautiful country, we have a freedom. This beautiful country gave me everything. That's why I had it in my gene and my blood to fight communists, escape Afghanistan. After 4 years, my dad made a decision. Son, we have to leave. We have to go to see your mother. My mother asked him, where's my mother? We found out later on my mom's ended up to Virginia, United States of America, as a refugee. Then we took a taxi to bus stop. Bus stop, half an hour later, we walk. We walked 7 days, 7 nights. I'm sure we've been through a lot of things. Once you read the book, you will know the whole detail. We arrived in Pakistan, Balachinnar, Pakistan. We took a bus from the 7 hours ride from Balachinnar, Pakistan to Peshawar, which is, I saw one thing, I will never forget that. 5 million Afghan refugees both sides of the highway. And I have a great photographic memory. By the time I was in Afghanistan, the Russia was showing black and white TV, World War II movie, how the Jewish didn't suffer. I saw the same thing on my own people, my Afghan people, suffering like Jewish people did. I'm going to jump to chapter 10. The first week when I arrived in Afghanistan, Staff Sergeant Cook asked me, Fahim, I need your help. That was my first week. I almost got killed. I asked him, what I can do for you, sir? He says, I know you're Captain Vincent's translator. They call us TERP, short for translator. I need your favor because you're good with people, you're good with Afghan, you speak the language, Dari and Pashto. Please, we have to protect this convoys. They bring food from Kandahar to Helmand province. I said, sir, no problem, I would love to do it for you. We got 10 Humvee and 10 Jingo truck, Afghan full of food, try to take the security, go all the way down to Helmand province. We were the second Humvee, and Staff Sergeant Cook says, why don't you translate one of those Jingo trucks, tell them, the same way I go, you should go. Because there was a lot of IEDs. There was thousand IEDs was buried. And I asked Staff Sergeant Cook, how you know there's an IED on the road? He says, I was in Iraq, I have an experience for you. And I call him Sniff Doc. He looked at me, you're not joking. And I said, no, sir, you sniff IED, road mine, like a dog. He says, why don't you give me that nickname? I will give you that nickname. Then, 10 minutes later, we heard boom, because the Jingo truck, Afghan driver, didn't follow us the same road we were going. He would make his own road. The mine blew up. The tires blew up. Nobody got killed. We stopped, and we tried to help them up. And we took all the convoys all the way down to our destiny. When we have to come back the same road, guess what? The Taliban has a plan for us. They put more IED and waiting for us. They know we have to come back, back to the base. Staff Sergeant Cook says, this time I'm go first, then all my Marines follow me. Then he was driving, he was watching the road. Hey, make a right, make a left, make a right, make a left. No, stop. Then all of a sudden he stopped. I asked him, what are you going to do? He said, Fahim, I'm not a coward. I'm a Marine. I want to make sure our Afghan civilians safe and my other Marines safe. Because if I don't pull these IEDs, these mines, the Afghan civilian will die. Then we stopped. We stopped, we called engineers. Engineers came in an hour. By the time they arrived there, guess what? We got rocket pour on us. Then, rockets left and right come in. Mortars come in. I was so excited, I thought I was part of the movie. Hold my camera, shooting. He says, he called me a bad name. He said, get down, this is not Hollywood. Then I got myself down inside the truck. Then the engineers come, pull 15 IED, make sure civilians won't get killed. That was it. And I want to thank you. I want to thank, special thank, Michael Moffat to help me out with this book. Without him, my dream never come true. Thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I didn't know we were born the same month until the book finished. I didn't know we're brother from different mother, but he's a little lighter. I want to thank Warrior Publisher, Captain Dildai, thank you, sir. Dr. Jolia, thank you, ma'am, to publish our book. I thought I'm not going to win. You guys give me a hard time at the beginning. I want to thank my friends, Masood, Abdullah, my three amigos. Once you guys read the book, the three amigos helped me a lot.
The three amigos are here?
Yeah,
oh,
right
no.
there. They're there. I've been down so many times. They're the one who pulled me out. They're the one who pushed me the right direction. Max Muskinyar, Abdullah Muskinyar, Mustafa Muskinyar. I will never forget that. And I want to thank a couple other friends. I want to thank a couple other friends, Sitara John, her husband, and my volleyball people from Laguna Beach. I know I'm bad. I surf bad. I know I'm kind of tricky. Forgive me, please. Today's my day.
Why we're here.
And I want to thank GC Bean people. Coffee, my favorite place in Dana Point. I want to thank them. I want to thank my neighbors. God bless you, all of you. Thank you for coming. And I want a special thanks to my beautiful wife, Amy. Been supporting me for 17 years. Apologized after 9/11 and been a terrorist in the movie. But the real person, I'm a good man. She's been helping me all my life. I want to thank my daughter. Well, I did my first red carpet. I come home. I say, Sophie, now I'm a movie star. She says, no, Daddy, you're not a movie star. You don't have a stars in Hollywood Boulevard. You're just an actor. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Isn't that great how your kids bring it back to the line? One more memory about Memorial Day. I'd like to read another quote. It's foolish and wrong to mourn the men who died. Rather, you should thank God that such men lived. And I thank God that such men as Fahim have stepped up to the plate to protect this democracy and our freedom. He's a rare breed today, and one that is to be cherished and looked up to, and a leadership model, a role model for our children, so that we keep this country free and we keep the democracy that we've got in place. Fahim did not carry a weapon into battle, but rather words and smiles and a trusting demeanor, which is huge over there in the Middle East in particular. This was refreshing to the Afghanistans, and it was totally disarming to the Taliban. Thank you, Fahim.